Everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you are new. We are in the midst of my top favorite makeup products per category. I'm putting up a video a day and I'm talking about my top 3 favorite products, and they're not necessarily my favorite discoveries or necessarily new products, but just my top 3 most used, favorite, most reach for products within each category. And today we're going to be talking about powder. So my top 3 powders are actually all loose powders. I have started in the last few months really taking advantage of using a powder puff in my T-zone, which you will see in all of the demos, and then loosely putting something else around my face with a fluffier type of brush. Now, sometimes I will use a loose powder in my T-zone and then use a pressed powder all over, but I will always use a loose powder in my T-zone. So I just feel like I reach for them the most. And I really took no time at all to pick these 3 because there was no contest with any other powders in my collection. The first one I'm going to talk about is from Chanel. This is their Natural Finish Loose Powder. I am in the shade number 30 and I am getting very, very low, if you can see. This is, I would say, the most shade specific of the ones that I'm going to talk about as far as the amount of options that you get. It's very large. It's an ounce of product. So while it is the most expensive of all the ones I'm going to talk about as far as what you pay up front, it does have about 3 times the amount of product in it. It will last you forever. I love this so much. This is a semi-matte powder on me. There's another one that's a little more matte. This one falls in the middle, and there's something about it that just makes my skin look flawless every single time. What I look for in a powder is something that's not going to accentuate and make my pores look bigger than they are, something that's going to keep the finish of the powder on initial application throughout the day to where I don't have to touch up, and something that is not too matte, but also not too luminous. I really like that middle ground, and this covers all of those bases. I absolutely love this. I've loved it for years. I will continue to love it for years. I loved the old formula. I love the new formula. This one does not contain talc. It does contain fragrance. I don't necessarily smell the fragrance. It's definitely not like Chanel liquid foundations where it's very evident there is fragrance in it, but there is fragrance on the ingredient list. There is, again, no talc, and there is also mica. It's very far down on the list, and I do not see that presented in application at all. It's not shimmery or anything on my skin. A huge favorite almost every year, really. This next product is a new discovery this year. It launched this year, and this is the one that I choose when maybe I'm wearing a little bit more of a matte foundation, or my skin feels a little bit dry, it feels a little bit dull. I really don't want extra mattifying power. I want something that's still going to set, make me not look greasy, but also give me a hydrated look, and the RMS new Hydra Setting Powder is exactly that. It's what I reach for every time when I want that. It's so beautiful on the skin. It also does not contain talc. And while it is hydrating, it is not radiant in my opinion, or luminous, or it doesn't make me look any more shiny than I do when I initially apply it. In fact, it does mattify a little bit on the initial application. But there's something about this that just doesn't mattify too much. It's kind of the perfect in between when I want a more hydrated look. This one does come in different shades. I am in the shade Light, but again, even though I haven't seen the other shades, I do feel like they're a little bit more forgiving than the shade options in the Chanel, which is why I said that one's most subjective to the shade that you find. And then this next one is definitely not new to me this year, and if I had to pick one powder out of all of my powders, it would be this one. It's what I have on today. It's the Fit Glow Beauty Instantly Blurring Bamboo Hyaluronic Loose Setting Powder. Woo, that is a mouthful. This has the very least amount of ingredients in all the powders that I'm talking about. It has bamboo extract, silica, rice starch, and sodium hyaluronate. So 4 ingredients total. And this is what I want when I want that. Is that real skin or is that fake skin because it looks so perfected look? Because that is what this does for me. And hopefully that'll come across in the demo. When I use a powder puff on this side of my nose or that side of my nose or in my T-zone in general, there's just something super perfecting that this powder does to the skin. But I'm not mad at that. How could you be? It's just beautiful. It is probably the most mattifying on the first application, and it definitely keeps my skin not shiny throughout the day, but it also isn't so flat matte as the day goes on that it looks bad. It kind of mixes with whatever foundation I have underneath it and just looks like really nice, perfected skin. I love that powder so much. I've talked about it for a very long time, ever since I started using it, and I will continue to. I really hope they never take that powder away. So those are my top 3 favorite powders for the year of 2024. Stay tuned for the next category that's coming up tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.